We already know that Jasmine Crockett is one of the most divisive members of Congress, but today what we're going to see is her mask being pulled off even just a little bit more to reveal how hateful she actually is towards her opposition. Now, before we get to these clips, don't forget to like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
I can tell you that as I showed up in various spaces, I could tell that the distractions were winning. When I was having conversations about trans kids playing sports, and then I'd have to say, okay, hold up. Please raise your hand if your kids are currently playing sports with trans kids. And then I'd be like, not everybody at one time. I need you to raise your hands. And so I had to redirect people quite often, because the last time I checked the President of the United States, we don't elect him to figure out who's gonna play on the playground. But somehow, that really seeped in, and it is because of the studying that you talk about. People don't understand how terrible the Heritage Foundation is when I tell you I hate them with everything in my body.
Project 2025, they laid it all out.
Right? So I can go through. They started with the whole trans kids in sports as well. But what they did is they were listening to these focus groups and they were trying to figure out how can we get people emotionally aroused. So when we allow ourselves to just get very emotional, then all logic is out the window. Am I like literally we allow somebody to tell us they coming for your black jobs. And so therefore, literally he said that because he knew that there was a segment of black folk that felt like, well, all y'all do is give resources to other people. And you're not taking care of us because they make us fight over the 1%. Like they'll talk about things such as like, oh, well, you sending our money overseas. They don't want to have the conversation about what soft power does and how it keeps us safe in this country if other countries believe that we're good people. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about the fact that it's pennies on the dollar that we spend on that. They want to keep you distracted and fighting over literally 1%, because that's what foreign aid is, so that you're not paying attention to the 99%. So that he can sit up here and say, well, let me cut USAID, something that most people probably hadn't even heard of and that absolutely did not understand how it worked, right? Let me cut that when it's really no money. When we look at our whole budget, it's a lot of money if you put it in one of our accounts. But when you look at our whole budget, it's nothing. While at the same time, this fool is talking about something, I need a ballroom that costs $200 million.
Right.
Like, I just need you, if and when you start to feel yourself getting emotional, because they knew how to specifically get at black folks' emotional triggers, specifically black people. And I talk to black folk all the time as somebody that's a child of a preacher. Listen, most black people are not Republicans simply because we just is like, y'all racist. I can't hang out with the KKK and them. That's really what it is. But when we think about who we are as black people and we think about where we come from, most black people have very conservative values, right? But the reality is that like we just can't side with like the neo-Nazis in them. We not dealing with y'all like that, right? So anytime you feel yourself getting emotional or anytime you're talking to someone and it seems like they're emotional, I need you to step back and say, what am I missing? Because if I'm all riled up, there is something that they don't want me to pay attention to right now.
That's right.
Bait and switch.
So,
Distraction and deflection.
so yes, that is what he did.
Yeah.
He distracted so many people and he keeps us so busy. The news cycle is nonstop when it comes to him. We were kind of focusing on like, is there going to be capital for people to start their own businesses? Will there be money so people can go and get the education that they want? What are we going to do to make sure that we are diversifying our trade so that ultimately, if there is another pandemic, we're not so dependent on one country that everything shuts down? Like, we were focused on real policy. And I don't care what nobody says, because we have real policy for everybody to make sure that we were lifting people up and not trampling on them. And right now, I don't care who you are getting stomped on in some way. No matter how much money you got, if you're black, for sure, they are stomping on us. And so the only thing that I would encourage you to do is understand, I get it, we're not a monolith as black people. We are not. But you gotta understand that when they come for one of us, they are coming for all of us. ultimately, I just need us to take this moment as an opportunity. As they are hating on one, don't you jump on the bandwagon and hate too. We need to stand united. We have to be a family in this moment. Now, once we get stuff back on track, we can go back to our corners. But as of now, I am telling you that our unity is the best thing that we can have, because truly we were divided, and that is exactly why we fail.
So I think I heard her correctly at the very end, where Jasmine Crockett said, hey, black people, don't hate, stand united. But of course, just previous to that, she said that all Republicans are the KKK and all Republicans are neo-Nazis. All right. So I guess that don't hate message doesn't apply to everybody. All right. But of course, she's talking about distractions and how Donald Trump is the master of distracting people from things that really matter in this country. And of course, what are her distractions? Oh, it was the whole trans issues, right? The boys in girls sports, men in women's locker rooms. And Jasmine Crockett says, hey, at my past town halls, my constituents, I asked them, yeah, raise your hand if this is an issue for you. Do you have any boys playing with your daughters in their sports? Are they actually hanging out in the locker rooms? She says this is not a widespread issue. And I say, basically, it doesn't have to be, because as we've seen, championships are taken away from girls and women when you allow men to compete. So it may not be widespread in terms of percent, but it has a huge impact, especially when at the state level, you have boys winning those championships. And as we recently saw at the Olympic level, when you have men winning those championships as well. Okay, but of course, there's other things going on with that whole issue, things that do happen. Yes, you have had predators end up in locker rooms. You have had people assaulted by these supposedly confused individuals. And of course, you have had all of these accolades, all of these scholarships, all of these awards being taken away by the trans individuals. Okay, so these are things that did actually happen. But of course, that's all just a distraction, because according to Jasmine Crockett, right, they were actually working on real good bills to go ahead and bolster the economy, to make sure jobs were coming back, right? To go ahead and say, hey, we're not going to have all of our manufacturing done in China, to which I have to say, bullcrap. What did Joe Biden do at all during his 4 years as president? None of that stuff, right? He didn't try to bring back manufacturing. He didn't try to reduce taxes. He didn't try to make it a friendly environment to start a business. It was the exact opposite. So I have no idea what Jasmine Crockett is actually talking about. But she does raise one good point. She does mention that, hey, black people are actually conservative, right? The black people I interact with on a daily basis, even the really far left ones, they are very conservative in their personal lives. They just refuse to be a part of the Republican Party. And Jasmine Crockett really spells it out. The reason why they refuse is because basically they believe the big lie that the Republicans are racist, okay? Which of course is simply not true. Earlier, Jasmine Crockett mentioned, yeah, the KKK and the neo-Nazis. Well, let's think about this, all right? The KKK was founded by the Democrats. Jim Crow laws came from the Democrats. Segregation came from the Democrats. The Democrat Party fought against civil rights. And yet somehow Republicans have been branded as the ones who are actually racist. And that, of course, has been the big message from Democrats for the last 60 years in this nation. And it's been very effective. And of course, that message has been received very effectively even today. However, Donald Trump did have record-breaking numbers for black voters. And why might that be, right? Jasmine Crockett says all of this stuff is a distraction. They're trying to say, hey, these illegal immigrants are coming in and taking your jobs, all right? Taking away all of your opportunity, taking away the government programs that help you. And of course, a lot of black voters saw that was actually happening in places like Chicago, in places like New York, all right? This was happening because, oh, you're taking away all of our recreational and community centers and housing illegal immigrants in them. Oh, all of the food banks and giveaways that are happening. Who's lining up in front of those? Oh, all of the illegal immigrants. So these were things that were actually happening. Yes, jobs and resources were going away specifically from the black community and given to the new mascot of the Democrat Party, the illegal immigrant. So it's no wonder that, yes, Donald Trump had a surge in support among black voters. And it's no wonder why Jasmine Crockett has to go ahead and try to castigate Republicans as being the worst thing ever. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and say hi to your mom for me. Do you like t-shirts? Of course you do. And now you can support the channel by buying an Angry Teacher t-shirt designed by me, Angry Teacher. So if you like America, if you like freedom, if you like liberty, then go ahead and click the link in the description, where all designs, of course, are 100% mother approved. So enjoy yourself and find something you like today.